It's important whenever you want to go to your workspace that you've logged into Merlot. I'm going to take you to my workspace. And first of all, I want you to understand that there are two different workspaces. The first is your workspace, which looks like this. And the second is the material workspace. Each learning material that is cataloged on Merlot has a material workspace. In order to triage a material, assign reviewers, send letters, you have to be in the material workspace of that module. You do not do that from my workspace. To enter the workspace, of course, you have to be logged into Merlot. You can see your discipline overview. This is mine in teacher education. You can see the workflow status. I have 1,061 materials that have been submitted to Merlot that I have not, or my board has not triaged. And 10 of those have been in the last 30 days. And by clicking on that, I can access those materials and begin the triage process. Um, to do the triage process, you need to look at the material, and I usually have members of the editorial board as well as myself who do this. So I would follow the link to that material, I would go to it, and I would spend some time reviewing that material. I would look at things like how easy it is to use, whether I have to sign in or not, how much accounts cost. And I would notice that there's a cost to this account, but I do see that there is a free version. And so I might want to try the free version and see if that's useful for me. I won't spend hours on this, but I will spend probably close to 30 minutes or longer, depending on how complex the material is. When I finished doing that, then I would go back to Flow, and then I would go to the material workspace. And in the material workspace, I would add a triage. Now we have many options for triage now. We can defer the review if the material is in a foreign language that you do not speak or no one on your board speaks. I could remove the material if it's offensive for some reason, or if it is completely out of date. I can say do not review if, for example, the material has a high cost associated with it and does not have a free preview. If I've looked at it and I think it's useful, but maybe it's only useful for a narrow group of people, I might click do not review, but useful. If it's a good quality material, but for whatever reason you don't feel it's appropriate for your board to review it, you can mark for good quality, do not review. But if you are going to review the material, you would click on the 5 and then you would click save, something I won't do because I really haven't triaged this material. So you can see that this shows me those 10, but of course I can go back to my discipline overview and I can access lots of things. If I need to assign materials, I can see that I have 538 materials that have been triaged but have not been assigned. And if I want to assign the materials, I would go to the material. I would see that it's got a high priority review from 2013, but that in 2015 somebody came back in and looked at it and said, you know, this is good quality, but we're not going to review it. But if I wanted to assign a reviewer to this item, I would click on Assign a Reviewer. I would click on that person's name, and I'll just click on mine for now. I can set a due date, and that's really important for people who are reviewing, that they have a deadline. You can always change the deadline, but unless you set a due date, you can't remind the people that they have a review. You can send an email to a reviewer, which I certainly recommend, and then you would click Save. Again, I'm not going to do that. So then I can return to my workspace. And if I've got individual reviews completed, as I do now, I can look at those reviews. I can see that um, I've got a review here. I always assign myself composite reviews, and because I know that I'm going to do them, I don't set a due date, and I click Save. And now I can access those materials and do the composite review. I'm going to open this just to show you what a composite review looks like. You can either choose one of the the reviewer's comments to add here, or in many cases what I'll do is choose one and then write something based on the others, especially if it's adding material and information to the review. And then I would continue on with this, which I won't do for this demonstration. So I'm going to go back to my workspace. And you can see here my recent triages have been done. It shows my recent reviews, any reviews I have in progress, and any completed reviews that have been done. Also, letters that I've sent. Now, how do you send a letter? Okay, I'm going to go to a composite that has been completed. And to send a letter, and I've done this, but so I will just show it to you. I click on Send Review Letter. I put the name of the person, their email. This will automatically be put in there if someone who submitted the material has entered that material, that information. If not, then you need to do some sleuthing and figure out who to send it to. And then for the subject, I always put Merlot review, and then I click send. Then if you have not heard back from the person within 2 weeks, you can post that review. And the way you post that review is to go to your completed composites and click on post. Now, another thing that you might need to do as an editor is set up your discipline. I try to do that for most people when they get started, but you may certainly want to change it. So the notification is 2 weeks for everybody. You put your board name and your email address, and all boards have an email address. The reviews are the ones that have been automatically put in there, but you can certainly add to that if you wish. And then you can edit the letters that are sent out to people, reviews and recognition letters. And then I also have a reminder letter just so that I don't have to consistently do that. The editor and reviewer roles are here, and you can make it a choice about what you want people to be able to do. On my board and on many boards, only editors write composite reviews, so the reviewer would not be able to do that. Associate editors can, if you choose, delete reviews, inactivate reviewers, manage the board, see the workflow, flow status box, and so on. I also allow associate editors to assign themselves reviews, to send letters if needed, and view reviews. It's up to you how you want to do that. When you've completed this, you click Save, obviously, which I'm not going to do since I'm very happy with the way mine are. You also are able to manage people, and when you click on that, you you get to this state, and you can see the reviewers' roles. I have multiple associate editors, but only one editor in chief. But I can also look at a particular person and click on roles and see what Chris is able to do. I may want her to be able to do something else like edit materials, and if that's the case, I can save that, and Chris is able to do that. For right now, I'm going to leave things just as they are, so I'll click cancel. But this is helpful, especially if you have people that you want to have a particular role on your board. That's a lot of information, I know, but I hope it's helpful to you. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to let me know. Thanks.